The college football experience week 10 reaction show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Use that promo code SGPN for our first deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use that promo code SGPN and get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today, people. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time has last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Use the promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
This is Jerry Glanville, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome. Welcome to the college football experience week 10 reaction show. Oh boy, we got a lot to react to. Another wild week in the books, and your boy Dundee was on one. Cooled off slightly in the late night slate, but I got some shit dogging to do. Like we normally do here. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
I mean, my doc says, Colby, the only advice I can get you is keep betting games because you're fucking awesome. You know what I mean?
Killing it.
I did lose some. Some I lost towards the backside, but
Away though.
You know, did lose a few wins.
Accentuate the positives.
Kind of, we'll talk it all.
Forget about the negatives.
I'm joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh.
Let's get it going. Let's fucking get it going.
Let's go. A little bit of a chalky day. Little bit of a chalky day.
Oh, not for Dundee.
In terms of results.
Not for Dundee. Yeah. I mean, there was some, not really. We
had one top 10 loss the entire day.
I don't know. I don't even know who's in the top 10. I haven't looked at the top 10 in fucking 20 years. All right. No, I have to do it for the database top 25, but that's it. All right. Currently we have Stanford, Washington State tied up at 7-7 in the fourth quarter. Wait, that's in the fourth quarter. 7-7 in the fourth quarter.
Stanford getting better week by week.
Boise, Fresno's got a 10-point lead on Boise in the third. The Beavers have an 11-point lead on the Colorado Buffaloes, and I am sweating out Arizona +3 or 2.5. Forget what I got it at. At home as they're up 14-0, just about halftime there. Just to get you up to date, folks, but we are gonna break down every single game here. But first, I want to tell you that the college football experience week 10 reaction show is brought to you by Prize Picks. Look, with basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the they're calling this thing the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James, Travis Kelce at over 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made and receptions. Cha-ching, you'll cash that, right? As long as LeBron plays. You never know in the NBA. But want to play alongside some of PrizePicks' favorite players, like perhaps rapper Meek Mill or comedian Andrew Schultz. You can now find community plays under the promos tab and view the entries of some of the biggest names in the PrizePick community each and every week. So what are you doing, folks? PrizePicks even offers, I think, one of the best things. They have a reboot policy. Take last night, for example. I used Garrett Schrader in my DFS last Friday night for Syracuse. Now I was out in the world doing a bunch of shit, so I was not able to, just because I moved. I feel like I'm blaming it on the move, because normally I stay kind of hip to knowing who the fuck is going to play. But I basically burned money because the Shredder didn't play. They went with fucking Del Rio. Well, what's great about PrizePicks is there's a reboot policy. You're basically insured for football and basketball games. All right. If you have a player who exits in the first half, so he could even play and get injured. Well, that player is then rebooted if he doesn't play in the second half. PrizePicks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with a injury insurance policy. Yeah, it's fantastic. So check it out. PrizePicks.com /SGPN. Use that promo code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's PrizePicks.com /SGPN. Promo code SGPN. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. All right. We are back on the college football experience, and here we go. Here we fucking go. Just gonna go chronologically. Last year we did the conference thing, or last week we did the conference thing. Let's go chronologically today.
All right.
Keep the listeners on their toes.
Alrighty. 9 a.m. slate. West Pacific.
I won with the points here, but I lost in my heart because Texas 33, Kansas State 30. One of the most
bizarre coaching decisions we've seen all season.
I haven't had a chance to dive into his post-game speech.
Yeah.
I cannot believe Kansas State also missed the extra point.
Yeah.
Because they're normally very sound in special teams. You saw the block punt earlier in the game.
27-27. Kansas State had just scored. Yeah. They shanked the extra. No, they botched the snap on the extra point.
So Holder's not ready for it. The ball gets snapped.
Yeah.
Then
that completely changes the leverage of the game. Takes the pressure off of Texas. They march down. They get a field goal.
They had all the momentum in the game. Kansas State did, to me, in the second half. Right.
Yeah.
They march all the way down, miss another field goal.
Yeah. Kansas State gets the ball back after Texas gets their 3. Kansas State misses theirs, and then what? They get the ball.
Yeah. Then Texas adds a field goal.
Yeah.
And then Kansas State drives down and makes a field goal.
Yeah, ties it up.
Yeah, and every Malik Murphy pass, I thought Texas fans were going, whoa, you know what I mean? Like second half, the first half he was actually impressive. First quarter he was super impressive, but second half I think every Texas fan was sitting there saying, let's just run the ball. Let's just run the ball.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand Chris Kleiman here. Look, I've been a longtime fan of Chris Kleiman.
And give Jonathan Brooks credit for being such an impossible dude to tackle on first contact. It's a nice fallback option when your quarterback isn't playing well.
I mean, but K-State still held him to 112. I feel like that's a good day, but it's like, if you told me that, I think you'd be happy with 112. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had several dropped interceptions, but I really just don't understand why you have all the momentum. You have
Oh yeah, so we didn't explain what happened in overtime.
In overtime, essentially, Texas makes a field goal the first drive. K-State's defense does pretty damn good.
Not only, exactly. It was essentially 3 and out, right? I don't think Texas got a first down.
No,
they were forced to kick the field goal.
They make the field goal. K-State instantly, like the first play of overtime, gets down to like the 6-yard line. They run on second down to the 4-yard line on a play where if Will Howard just goes to the right, it would have been a touchdown, but he went to the left. And then they throw 2 incompletions. They go for a 4th and 4.
Yeah.
4th and goal from the 4. I don't understand what You have all the momentum.
Yeah.
You have Texas's quarterback struggling to complete a pass. He's lost confidence. He's thrown multiple picks in the second half. What are you doing?
It's so far away.
I get it. You had some kicking woes, but you still trusted that 45-yarder, and this kicker's been good throughout his career. I just don't understand it. Look, I covered. I took Kansas State plus 4.5. My bank account's happy, but I mean, if I'm a K-State fan, which I sort of am, I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, the 2-point conversion typically is what, 2.5 yards away?
Yeah, 3, I think, right? 2.5, 3, right?
2.5, 3, somewhere in there. The conversion rate for that is 43.5%. When you're four yards away, I would wager that would drop somewhere to 35, even 30% that you're gonna convert that. Well, why put yourself in a position where you only have a 30 when, like you said, you're playing better? Just kick the field goal.
You have all the momentum.
You're outplaying
experienced quarterback.
Trust your team.
Well, and they had been stopped on a 4th and 1 on a shotgun run that we saw earlier, right? Or no, 3rd and 1 where they ended up having to settle for the missed field goal. I just don't understand it.
I guess
coaches have lost their mind.
You could be a little scared that your kicking game missed 2, but he hit the field goal to tie it up to send it to overtime.
It was a 45-yard fucking field goal. The guy has been good all year.
Yeah, and this was essentially an extra point, which, by the way, 94% conversion rate in college football. This guy's a good kicker. Send your team to double overtime. It was baffling. It was baffling.
I mean, I'm looking at his stat log. He's a good kicker. I don't understand. I just don't understand why. We've lost. I know we hammer this every week, but I really can't believe.
Yeah, the analytics is overriding
the way that football is being played today.
Yeah,
I know obviously the targeting shit, but look, and I normally bash that. Don't worry, that will be in like 10 minutes. All right, but why would you go for it?
Yeah, this doesn't make sense.
Why?
If it was 4th and 1, and the other thing about that is, if you thought you were in 4-down territory, right? Why not get closer?
Running it on 3rd down.
Yeah, and 2nd down.
And Sark even gave him a timeout to think about it.
Yeah, that was the worst part. It was like they lined up. Texas called the timeout. I was like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do this. No, we're gonna do it. Especially now that we know Texas is ready for this shit. We're gonna do it. We're not catching them off guard. And look, 2 seconds into the play, it was done. Right? You could tell. And Howard is white and clumsy. He falls over and throws the ball 100 feet in the air. It's so predictable. So predictable.
YouTube.com/the college experience, folks, to watch it. I don't know. I'm just baffled by this. So Patty C, here is to Texas A&M. Texas, the Longhorns, moving to 8-1. We haven't seen Malik Murphy on the road yet. So he started BYU. He started K-State. They somehow escaped K-State. They beat the shit out of BYU. Yeah.
I mean, they're a good football team. They were putting it on K-State early.
Yeah.
But K-State did close that gap. And was playing much better. Football.
I did think. Well, I thought it was I took K-State, but I thought it was a favorable matchup in the fact that Texas has a clear weakness to me in their secondary. I don't think Kansas State is the type of team to truly exploit that.
Yeah,
I do think TCU could be the team to exploit that, or Texas Tech, who they play later in the year.
You don't think Iowa State has that capability?
I think Iowa State can beat them because Iowa State can shut their defense down and make it a rock fight.
Yeah,
kind of like K-State.
Offense down.
But the K-State game was in Austin. On the road, it's a brand new game. I mean, we've never seen Malik Murphy's never started a college football game on the road ever. So
he's got 2 of them coming up in back-to-back weeks at TCU, at Iowa State. He's going to be tested. Now Iowa State lost today, so that's 2 conference losses for them. If they were to beat Texas and win out on theirs, they would have the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
But and then Texas Tech is the last game of the season in Austin for Texas. Meanwhile, Iowa State has BYU, Texas, and Kansas State left. They're not running the table.
Probably not.
Texas most likely just punched their ticket.
I don't think so. Yet.
You don't think?
I'm going to get to that in a second.
All right.
I'm going to get to that in a second. But all right, let's move along to but I mean, folks, You know, I did this morning show. I did 10 fucking podcasts all week. I told you that Indiana and Tragic Magic was going to hit on the money line. Holy shit. Easy play. Wisconsin's been ass all year. They're disguising their little record. They're not a good football team. Easy play. Easy fucking play. Yeah. Indiana money line. They never trailed the entire fucking game.
Wisconsin almost came back in that.
True. But I mean, it's Indiana. They suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
It's not impressive to almost come back against Indiana.
Shout out to Todd in the chat. It says, what's up, fellas? Shout out to the GOAT, Colby D. Put some money in my bank for giving me Army money line on the Bombs Pod. Yes, and look, I gave you.
That one hit with some authority.
Well, Indiana never trailed. I didn't sweat. I mean, Wisconsin got a little momentum late in the game, but you know, some days you just have awesome days. Today was one of those days for the most part. I also locked up Ohio State minus. I mean, this one was when I knew everything was going my way. Minus 18.5.
Everything was going your way.
Oh my God. I thought there's no way I'm hitting this. There's no way I'm hitting this.
Yeah. Ohio State trailed. They
Rutgers
had only scored
was at
7.
the 10-yard line, about to go up 2 scores in the third fucking quarter. Or no, was it late second? No, it was third quarter. And I bet anytime defensive touchdown for Ohio State. I mean, today.
Didn't you call a pick six in particular?
Yeah.
From Wimsett.
Yeah. 95-yard interception return for a touchdown. It was the game changer. Your boy Dundee was on one today. Man. The amount of money coming in early morning. I'm telling you, I almost bought an island. I almost bought a fucking island.
I guess you have to give credit to Ohio State for making it happen, but it does seem like it's taken them a long time to like create that separation. And it often comes from a little bit of luck.
They don't pass the eye test, man. Yeah. They don't pass the eye test. Their resume is all right, but they don't pass the eye test on the offensive side of the ball specifically.
Well, their final scores are deceptive too. They, if you were just to look at their final scores, you'd say, oh yeah, they're a pretty dominant team. But
also myself, Jake Bakeman, we gave away Marvin Harrison anytime touchdown. That hit. I mean, I'm telling you, the amount of fire that was out there today. Nebraska, Michigan State. I took Nebraska, but I didn't bet it. Michigan State won. Who cares? Who cares? Let's not talk about that game.
This is Nick's point in terms of sometimes the Big Ten
there's one
West.
team to talk about.
I guess
there's one
Michigan
team that separated themselves today in the Big Ten West. All right, we're gonna get to that one. Arkansas. This line closed at +3. Or I'm sorry, So if you listen to the Wednesday show, I had Arkansas +6. This morning it was down to Florida -3, and I told people back away. But I still took that +6.
Yeah, smart.
Pulled Borg Pittman and Arkansas get their first ever win in the swamp. Patty C.
Very nice. Florida misses a game-winning field goal. Was it at the end of regulation?
Yeah. Arkansas blew a 14-0 lead early. I mean, it was a kind of a wacky game, but Patty C, Florida is 5-4. They're in Baton Rouge next week.
Well, I would have said guaranteed loss.
I still think they're going to lose that
after
game.
Watching that Swiss cheese ass defense of LSU's.
True.
You never know.
I still think they're going to lose that game, Florida. Yes. Then they're at Missouri.
Probably a loss.
Then they're home versus Florida State.
Probably a loss. So 5-7.
Would they pull the plug in 2 years on Napier if he goes 5-7?
They would. If they could pull the plug a year after
Mullen went to the
McElwain, or was it
Mullen? I think both.
Yeah. If you're 1 year removed from an SEC championship berth, it's not you're on the hot seat. You can be fired at Florida.
Shout out to Jason Barker. He's a Gator fan. That must be painful right now. But hey, you had a lot of good years. All right. He says we lose out until Florida State. I do think
Florida State. You could. Florida State.
He's calling for Napier to be fired. Oh, Florida State. But Patty C, pulled pork Pittman. Now 3-6. The remaining schedule: home game versus Auburn,
winnable.
Home game versus the Airport,
win.
Home versus Missouri. They can still go bowling.
Pulled pork Pittman saves his
They
job.
can still go bowling. Let's
You and
go
I are in
pulled pork
agreement.
Pittman.
He doesn't need to be fired.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Who the fuck they think they are? All right, he's a good coach. Tennessee 59, UConn 3.
Yeah, that's what you'd expect there.
I mean, the highlights are so ridiculous in this game. There's a guy like 70 yards open.
Yeah.
Like no one. He just ran he just ran down the field. It was like practice.
Yeah.
Fucking
defense,
unbelievable.
no
highlight.
safety, no corner.
Nothing in the photo. It's like just playing catch. He's not even running at the end. He's just like walking to the end zone.
It's like if you blitz all 11 and they pass.
Yeah, techable.
Yeah.
Fucking techable. North Carolina 59, Campbell 7. Didn't bet any of these games, but I did bet this one. Jacksonville State plus 16. That cashed, and holy shit, they had them on the ropes. Final score says 38-28. It was a 31-28 game. Jacksonville State driving down the field, and Zion Webb throws an interception, returned 88 yards for a touchdown. Yeah. South Carolina wins
Jacksonville
by 10.
State was up 28-21,
yes,
right? And then 17 unanswered by South Carolina.
No, but dude, they're at the fucking 12-yard line. They're about to win the game.
They were right there.
Yeah.
South Carolina
2 minutes left.
Was a little better, but Jacksonville State was right there. Gotta give who is
Rich Rod
or no
Beamer
quarterback.
Zion Webb?
South Carolina Rattler a little credit. Yeah. Rattler had a decent day. What is that?
I mean, I sure hope so.
Yeah, he should.
He threw for 399. That's a pretty decent day.
Yeah.
We hit on that though, and the hits just kept coming. We pushed on Ole Miss A&M. A&M misses a field goal. I took Ole Miss -3. It was a push, but let's talk about this for a second. A&M's 5-4, Patty C. The remaining schedule: home to Mississippi State.
That's a win.
Home to Abilene Christian.
Win.
At LSU.
Winnable, but probably a loss.
7-5 do it.
It shouldn't. If they're going by the standards that they judged Kevin Sumlin on, he should be fired.
This is so funny each and every year.
It is.
It's funny to watch. Meanwhile, Ole Miss is 8-1. I gotta give it. I mean, look, I kind of think they're phony, but I gotta give it to Kiffin because he wins these games.
Well, they can score.
Yeah,
they can score. Jackson Dart 387 yards today.
Well, that's because A&M's pass defense is terrible. Number 1 recruiting class in the country, Petty C, 2 years ago. Oh, did I tell you about this?
That vaunted defensive line hasn't really panned out just yet.
Hold on, I want to read you this. I read this with CJ, so folks, I'm sorry if you listened to this already. Check out this awesome review. Check out this awesome fucking review. All right, from Real Football Fan 2298. First thing you would think, like, probably a pretty cool dude, right? No. He goes, the headline is dumbasses. Yes. Then he goes, these dudes never have a clue what they're talking about. Well, I guess you didn't take Indiana money line, Army money line, Clemson money line. I don't know. I only made a shit ton of money today, but anyway, yeah. Look, especially when it comes to X's and O's. Well, yeah. I mean, do you see his here with an erase board or anything drawing up plays? No. But I will say I would have stopped the wheel route that Virginia was running against Maryland. Look, listening to this show is a complete waste of time. The dude said recruiting rankings were a sham, and he completely lost me there. The host is a total moron. Yes. I would like for him to explain Texas A&M to me.
What about
Exhibit A, recruiting rankings? Yeah. Exhibit A. Talk to me about Texas A&M's recruiting rankings. And talk to me about how those numbers are accurate. Yes.
5-4.
Yes. Talk to me about Cormani McClain going from a 5-star to a 4-star in a matter of 10 seconds by saying, I am going to Colorado. Oh man. Fucking great. Anyway, Patty C, you think Jimbo's gone at the end of the year?
The payout's still got to be what, 60, 70 million at this point. That's starting to get in the range where it might be, doable for the boosters of A&M. You would think they'd be sick of it by now.
I need to have A&M win out to cash my over 8.
It's doable.
It is doable, but I don't like my chances.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ole Miss, big win there. Clemson, Notre Dame. The dumbasses just hit the money line on this one too. And Dabo, after the game, says buy stock in Clemson now because we ain't staying down. Gotta love that.
As Colby pointed out, you said there's a smidge of Spurrier there.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of Spurrier there.
He's got a little Spurrier to him, and I can appreciate that. Back in the heyday in like the 90s when I kind of had a deep hatred for Bowden and Spurrier.
Yeah.
I don't think I truly appreciated it. When I took
maybe
a step
you'll come
back,
around on Dabo eventually.
No, I think I'm starting to. With that caller, fucking hilarious. Yeah. Anyway, Clemson. I called for Clemson on the money line here. I thought this was a pretty easy handicap. They won. Notre Dame lost. Patty C. I at least am going to get my money back on Notre Dame under 9 wins because they have 3 losses. The remaining schedule is Wake Forest and Stanford. Probably going to get my money back. Depends on where you got this. I believe I got to go back and check all my tickets. I think I got it at flat.
You said
9.
Under 9.
It was either 9.5 or 9, but I thought for some reason I bet it at 9. So I don't think I got that, but
yeah, I mean, shoot, Stanford is a team they have a hard time with a lot of the time, Yeah. And Marcus Freeman, been known to drop a game that you wouldn't expect him to, i.e. today.
Sam Houston State was down 14-0 to Kennesaw in the first quarter. And I am still holding on a Sam Houston State 2.5 wins over ticket. They won. They battled back.
Boom.
Like nobody walks into the Bear Claw and gets a dub. They win 24-21.
Still not an FBS win.
No, but look, soon. Over 2.5 is probably cooked.
Yeah.
But I got a reason to believe it can still hit. They're at La Tech next week. I think they're capable of beating La Tech. Then they're at Western Kentucky. They're going to lose that game. But then the season finale, Rick Stockstill might be fired, and they might be with the interim head coach at the Bear Claw. So I might be able to get that thing going.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Kennesaw is a 2-6 FCS team, and
they're in the CUSA next year, though. It's a future CSA matchup.
Yeah, that's right. It is. So, apparently, even if you're a shitty team, you can come up to the FBS. But it, like you said, they're down 20 or 14 at half to this team,
and they're at the heart of a champion. Lions, Tigers, and Bear Claws.
Congrats to Sam Houston for getting their first win of their first FBS season,
even though it was an FCS team. I did lose a bunch of money on the Navy midshipmen. I took them -6.5. And for some reason, Navy, Brian Newberry, by the way, not sure he's your answer.
3-5.
They gave up 32 to Temple.
EJ Warner, 402
Woo!
passing yards.
Woo-hoo-hoo! I didn't start him in
Daddy
fantasy.
proud.
Why didn't I start him in fantasy? Nice win there for the Owls. Georgia Tech 45, Virginia 17. Patty C. This morning on the morning show, because I had Georgia Tech picked all week, and I pulled a Benedict. I didn't bet this game, but I said, you know what? Give me Virginia to win that one. I was buying into that offense I saw. Holy shit. What the hell happened to your boys here?
I don't know what happened. Every time I look at the screen, they were getting scored on. I do believe Georgia Tech had a huge rushing day. I'd have to double check the stats.
Well, hold on. So they're sitting here at 2-7 at Louisville on Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Short week. Go to the Shack, take on Louisville. Then they're home to Duke, home to Virginia Tech. How many wins are the Wahoos getting?
Rattle those off again.
At Louisville on Thursday, home to Duke, home to Virginia Tech.
All 3 of those are probably lost. I mean, they could beat one of them. I'll give them one. What does that put? 3 and 9. It was 3.5 was the
3.5, I believe, was
the number.
Total, yeah.
The under is still there. Now, you give me shit about my Wahoos, but I took the under.
I know, but each week you're telling me they got playmakers. They got playmakers, Colby. 17 points against at home against a stellar Georgia Tech team that lost to Bowling Green a few weeks ago.
UVA's coach. Why am I drawing a blank?
Tony Elliott.
Every time he, makes you think they got something going, then he just lays the clunker. You buy in What they get the upset on
It's
UNC.
easy to see a tide turn.
You say this team is going in the right direction. You thought, oh, maybe they blew their wad. They have to go on the road against Miami. Okay, they lost a close one, but they're still competitive against Miami. But it was another loss. And then they come out and get smoked by Georgia Tech.
Tony Elliott at his press conference, I think he was saying this.
It'd be ridiculous. Georgia Tech is one of the top offensive teams in the country.
Against you, they are.
That's from Rudy. Fantastic work there by and Brent Key. He's 5-4. Reigning schedule at Clemson, home to Syracuse, home to Georgia. They're gonna go 6-6. They're beating Syracuse.
Yeah. Dino Babers, by the way, probably Dunzo after taking another loss.
I want Urban Meyer to Syracuse.
So random. I don't know that.
No, it's just the culture clash.
Are they
It's
like
the
pretty
snobby
uppity
fucking
at Syracuse?
Yeah, come on. You got Bob Costas and his pink eye. You know what I mean?
That's true. I mean, what? 4-2 in the last 6 games for Georgia Tech.
Brent Key, turnkey program, buddy.
Hey, maybe their only losses in that system. Yeah, Bowling Green. Who? The ACC. Are you sure they're better than some of these other conferences?
No, I only said better than the Big Ten.
Okay,
they're better than the Big Ten.
That's tough to lean on.
Big Ten has so much shit. Like 10 teams are awful in the Big Ten.
Yeah, a lot of bad teams in the Big Ten, but probably not a whole lot of losses to Bowling Green.
Would Nebraska beat Bowling Green? I can't say that definitively. Would Michigan State beat Bowling Green? I can't say that definitively.
It's true.
This one, I didn't bet this, but I was a bit shocked at the outcome. Utah 55, Arizona State 3. Whoo!
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Apparently they don't take to losing by a lot too kindly.
God.
Kyle Whittingham must have been up there butts all week.
God.
Well, I don't get the rain man comb, but they're
Jason Barker in the chat reminding us that Bowling Green did beat Minnesota the last time they played.
Touche.
Leffler just said he has it out for these P5s.
That's right.
Utah dominating performance. They I think they head to Seattle next week. I think it is. Army and Air Force. La, 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 la. Oh, who took an 18-point dog on the money line? Fuck you, world. All right. Couple of dumbasses over here. Couple of dumbasses just cashing checks.
You had to see this one from a mile away. If you've ever watched the history of this game, if you know about what
easy fucking play. I even took the 18 to back myself up. So I just loaded up cash. I was like Dumb and Dumber. I was like blowing snot bubbles into fucking cash on the couch out there.
253 total yards for Army, 259 for Air Force. So a pretty evenly matched game, which is what we expected.
You know why they won? You ready for this? They went back to being Army. They only passed for 40 yards.
There you go. They've reclaimed their identity.
Monken said, fuck all this.
Yeah.
We're trying to pass the ball. We got Bill Romanowski at quarterback trying to pass the ball. Right? It ain't working. All right. Let's start running the football. And they started running the football. And they ran with ease. All right. 213 yards.
Was that the one? Was Michael Barker at that one? No, he was at Colorado.
No, he was at the Buffs game. And then
he is at the Buffs game.
Shout out to Todd. He says, I'm enrolling to Dumbass University next semester. I promise you, as head chairman,
dean of
Dumbass University, we will play football. And guess what? We will play more than 12 games a season. We're not concerned about mental health. All right. We are going to be fine. All right. We can play year-round football. Fuck, the CFL's in a 22-week season right now. I was watching the CFL earlier too.
Yeah.
All right.
It can be done.
Yeah. Come on. Fucking everyone's.
I mean, what's it gonna be with the college football playoff?
I'm saying the NFL just added games.
Yeah,
they're playing like all around the globe. There's like a game in Bangkok tomorrow or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, no, it's in Germany, right?
Yeah, you better be awake at like 2 a.m. if you're in Los Angeles.
Yeah, come on. It's just so as head of Dumbass University, I will tell you, and I'll be teaching classes. Patty C will be.
I'm a professor emeritus of dumbassery over here.
I like this route. We should start a Dumbass University. Army hit on the money line. You're welcome, world. Florida Atlantic lost to Trent Dilfer and UAB. I did not see this coming. I didn't bet this game, but I did tell some fan this morning to take FAU. They're going to win this game. Well, they didn't. And I apologize for that, but
Zeno had
this game was kind of insane.
Game of the day: 484 passing yards, 5 touchdowns.
This score was silly.
Trent Dilfer whispering in that quarterback's ear.
Next up, UTSA 39, North Texas 29. I'm sorry, UTSA 37, North Texas 29. That was a push. UTSA wins. Okay. Next, Arkansas State upsets the Raging Cajuns. All of a sudden, ever since they went to this backup quarterback, who's a freshman, it's been lighting it up.
Found their mojo.
Butch might keep. Arkansas State fans are gonna hate this. You're gonna fuck around and extend Butch Jones.
Yeah, you keep Jones.
He's gonna go
Jonesboro.
6-6. Yeah. Nice win there as they moved to 5-4. Patty, see, there was a lot of dumb games today. You know, there's a big narrative. And just everywhere I see on Twitter, everyone shits on Iowa and Northwestern and the Big Ten West. I would like to push back and shit on all these ridiculous fucking scores, like the Alabama LSU game, which we'll get to, the USC Washington game,
which was idiotic,
and then this one, South Florida 50, Memphis 59. Memphis. I mean, we got the cover with the Bulls, but this is not fun. That's not a fun game to watch. If every play is a 75-yard touchdown, I think it sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's incredibly fucking boring.
583 yards for USF, 580 for Memphis.
The game was ridiculous. It was like every play. Oh, 77-yard touchdown. Fucking tackle.
Yeah.
Tackle. I mean,
pursue, make contact, right? Wrap your arms.
I hate games. I don't understand why people like scoring so much. Like, okay, I get it. Okay, like I get it. Iowa Northwestern 6-3 or something. I understand it, but if we're gonna shit on that, you have to shit on these. You have to shit on these. That's not fun. That is not fun.
These fans fall in the same irony category as the ones that are upset about targeting, but will watch a UFC immediately after the game.
Yeah,
they hate a defensive battle, but then we'll go watch soccer and rave about it.
Yeah. So World Cup's fantastic.
Yeah.
I never watched Iowa Northwestern.
Yeah.
All
but
right?
that 1-0 heater between USA and Mexico, man, that was riveting.
Man, Memphis just keeps on cruising. They're 7-2, Patty C. Silver Child. Gonna be
doing it.
He got extended, but
is he going to make the jump to the Power 5 ranks probably in the next probably this year, maybe.
Coastal Carolina battled back. They were down early. They battled back to beat ODU 28-24. Watch out for the shots. They're coming to Harrisonburg in a couple weeks, Patty C.
They are. We are not sleeping on the shots. Believe me.
I would have got that game wrong had I bet it, because I did take ODU. Was it +1 or -1? I don't remember. But I also, if you were forcing me to bet these games, I would have also got Minnesota wrong. Illinois 27, Minnesota 26. We had this on the screen here.
Man,
wild!
What a great ending!
Wild. John Paddock coming in, throwing the backup, the former Ball State Cardinal coming in, delivering a 46-yard touchdown with less than a minute left to grab that dub.
Yeah. A dime.
PJ Fleck's fucking face. He's all crying. Minnesota, they looked like they were gonna, because they had the tiebreaker on Iowa off that bullshit punt return. You look like, man, they can maybe get in the Big Ten championship. Yeah. If you're an Iowa fan, today was an unbelievable day. You got Wisconsin loses.
Yep.
Nebraska loses. Minnesota loses. Purdue loses.
That's true. Let me see the Big Ten standings at this point. Let me make sure I have the most updated version that I'm looking at. But yeah, Iowa sitting at 4-2, Minnesota 3-3, Wisconsin 3-3, Nebraska 3-3,
and they have the tiebreaker over Wisconsin too. So all they need is Wisconsin to beat Minnesota.
Yeah, and
they're home cooking.
Yep.
Well, Minnesota's got to play at Ohio State too. I was in. They're in. Yeah. Let's go. I got my ticket. I got my future for Iowa to win the Big Ten West. I don't want to celebrate. Don't want to celebrate too much here. You know, Deacon Hill's a winner though. All right, my favorite quarterback in football.
Well, the high score the high passing output of the day belonged to Sullivan for Northwestern with 81. So I'd have to check to see.
That was a cold 81 too. All right, let's.
I got to see. Deacon Hill 65, phenomenal passing yards.
Oklahoma State, the final bedlam. If that wasn't enough for you, hold on. Wait, let me just get this straight. I gave you Indiana on the money line. I gave you Army on the money line. I gave you Clemson on the money line. All locks that hit. Also gave you Jacksonville State with the points. Hit. Right? Those were all games that we were betting that we gave away on the fucking show, Patty C.
Wow.
And then I said take Oklahoma State +6 and ride the money line. They fucking win. I knew Oklahoma was Fugazi.
Whatever the hell it is.
27-24 Oklahoma State wins. The mullet got the final word. They asked him post game, are they going to play again? Nope, not on the regular season. Maybe if they see him in the playoffs.
Send him out the door with a big FU. Nicely
this
done.
Game was
Cowboys.
Classic Bedlam, where just crazy shit's happening left and right.
Yeah, lead changes.
Crazy shit is happening left and right.
Yeah.
Patty C, Oklahoma State now has the tiebreaker on Oklahoma.
I guess we should give that game a little crap as far as the defense or lack thereof being played. Because the final on that one was what, 45?
No, dude.
Oh no, 27-24.
Yeah.
Why did I think that one was higher? 27-24. Okay, yeah, little bit of defense being played there. A little bit of defense being played.
A lot of fourth down stops. I'm on board there. Yeah, gave that away.
Boom.
Mike Gundy. I could have swore that I had Oklahoma fans shit talking me a few weeks ago saying, when I called them counterfeit, they were saying I was a fucking idiot. And how's the season treating you? All right. How's it going, Boomer Sooner?
Well, you got to say this. Oklahoma kind of bottled up Ollie Gordon for only 137 rushing yards, which is about 100 less than he's gotten for the past few weeks.
Olive Garden did get shut down a little bit. Not the first time in Olive Garden's gotten shut down.
Hello. Is he the best running back in the nation?
Yes. Yeah. This guy's killing it. And yeah, someone needs to call the boss. Did they meet on the 50-yard line?
Man, Oklahoma State. Well, there's the thing. If we want to talk about this Texas situation,
but recruiting rankings told me they shouldn't even be close. The recruiting ranking.
Touche.
The dumbass. At Dumbass University, we're going to do a deep dive on how it's even possible for Oklahoma State to beat Oklahoma with those recruiting rankings. How's that even possible?
I got to get those pulled up, but I am pretty sure Oklahoma State. Where would you figure they fall in the recruiting rankings?
Probably in the 30s, if I had to guess.
In the 2023 cycle, Oklahoma State. Wow, I don't even think they were in the top 50.
Wow.
Interesting.
It's funny how football works.
Wait, where are they? Number 55. And Oklahoma was number 5 last year. Huh.
The dumbass university seems to be we're already in classes in session.
That's right.
All right. Dumbass University is deep into it here. We're gonna print the t-shirts.
I love it. So Oklahoma State has a tiebreaker on Oklahoma now. Right, because they both have 2 conference losses, right?
No.
Oklahoma State's.
They only have 1 conference loss.
Who is their non-conference? Oh, they lost to South Alabama.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. We're gonna touch on that one too. So yeah, Oklahoma State is in the driver's seat at this point.
Yes, and with Iowa State losing today, that's who beat Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that's their.
And look who they have the tiebreaker on: Kansas State, Kansas, and Oklahoma. And guess what? They don't play Texas.
So they're almost in. What's the remaining slate?
At the Moon Bounce next week.
Tough game, but
dangerous.
Yeah.
Then against the old used car salesman Dana Holgerson. Dangerous, but
should be a win as well.
And then home against the Mormons.
They should win all 3. I would think they might lose one of them.
They can afford to lose one.
Yeah, if they lose one, they're still in. And then Texas is probably the other team that's in. Oklahoma may be out now.
Yeah,
but Oklahoma has the tiebreaker on Texas. So if Oklahoma wins out and Texas takes one more loss, then Texas is out, right? That's how you figured the tiebreakers would work, right?
Well, there's also a few
Oklahoma
other
State
teams
would be at the top of that tiebreaker.
because Kansas
chain.
would have the tiebreaker on Oklahoma.
Okay.
West Virginia's in the mix too.
Big 12.
It's wacky. It's fun.
Let me take a
It's
look.
fresh.
Big 12. We got Texas at 5-1 in conference. Oklahoma State at 5-1 in conference. Then Kansas, Oklahoma, Kansas State, and West Virginia, and Iowa State.
And check us out. If Iowa
4-2.
State runs the table, and Oklahoma State loses one, Iowa State's got the tiebreaker on Oklahoma State.
Big 12 is awesome.
It's fantastic.
But
it's absolutely
at
fantastic.
this point, Texas is probably the only team alive for the college football playoff. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I mean, they'll put them in anyway. They go 7-6.
Yeah.
They'll say, I got them ranked the numbers 5 here. Straight the schedule.
Mhm.
We look at the resume here. What a win. What a great win for fucking Oklahoma State. A nice fuck you on the way out the door. A nice fuck you and go have fun being 7-5 in the fucking SEC.
Yeah.
You're gonna be missing Stillwater.
Yeah.
All right.
They'll be back. These teams come back around.
Be building statues of Bosworth. Why don't they have a They have a statue of Sam Bradford, not Bosworth. What the fuck?
It's true. Look, Nebraska left the Big 12. It hasn't worked out exactly how they wanted it. Colorado left. Now they're back.
Yeah.
Look, Oklahoma will see you in about 10 years.
Might be a
Maybe
little
15.
longer than that.
Wait till they renegotiate the Big 12
yeah.
TV contract.
Florida State 24, Pitt 7. We did hit on Pitt plus 21.5, and Florida State, Patty C. Your opinion of Florida State? Do you think they are really a top 5 team?
No, I think that they find ways to pull away. I think they are a dynamic team. Okay, this is what Florida State has always been, a dynamic team. But when it comes time to playing a team that doesn't make mistakes, when Pittsburgh catches an 80-yard pass and gets stripped at the 1-yard line and lets Florida State recover in the end zone, and the score at that point was what 0-0 or 7-0. Pitt should have been up 14-0 and scaring the pants off of fucking Florida State.
Horrible pass interference call on Pitt too on a critical 3rd down. I mean, Florida State might have still won the game, but that was a big play. That the next play, Florida State scores a touchdown.
The funny thing about Florida State is because there are only really, I think, Michigan is the only team that's shown themselves to be super consistent, and they're not even extremely explosive. Don't get me wrong; they have some players that can get, but you don't look at like Roman Wilson and go, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna like torch a defense." Like they could win the national championship, but they could also lose to, any number of teams.
We need to pick a fire mascot for Dumbass University. The chat's saying, how about the rambling jackasses? Here at Too Much Asses. How about the donkeys?
The donkeys, yeah. Dumbasses, jackasses.
The dumbass donkeys. Come to dumbass, where you can be the fighting donkey.
Yeah, the donkey is fucking perfect.
We're working on the shirts, folks. Anyway, thankfully, I Benedict this early in the week. If you listen to the SGP show, I was on Virginia Tech plus 9.5. I thought, I didn't bet it, but we had to pick the game.
Whoopsie.
NC Nick, I got to credit NC Nick for swaying me here. He's like, "You're crazy. Louisville at home at the Shack." And I didn't bet this game, but you know what I did bet? I bet over 8 fucking wins. So I'm at least getting my money back. 8-1 of the Louisville Cardinals, Patty C. I also have a plus 1250 to win the ACC.
Pretty damn impressive.
Well, let me get this straight.
They're right there.
No, we're 1 win away. We beat Virginia. We've clinched.
Yeah, they got Virginia at home and a road trip to Miami. They
don't even need the Miami game.
Yeah,
you beat Virginia. You clinched.
Yeah, you're clinching the ACC championship game
and the over 8.
Nicely done. That'll happen next week.
Then you got the Governor's Cup on the 25th against the Wildcats.
Still, at this point,
they're gonna go 11-1.
If you're Louisville, you're playing for a fucking playoff spot.
It's true. I think they could beat Florida State, dude.
If Ohio State, if Notre Dame, do
you think they could beat Florida State? I think they could beat Florida State.
Yes, I think they could easily beat Florida State. I almost want to say they're better. It's the running back,
Jawar Jordan, fucking stud.
Yeah, he might be the best running back in the nation. He's right there with fucking Oklahoma State.
Jack Plummer, international man of mystery, fucking stud.
Yeah,
let's go. So I took Merrimack plus 17 points against UMass this morning. The Warriors came out and play.
How to get that?
At Dumbass University. You know,
we don't conjugate our verbs. I don't even know. Play is an adjective.
Yeah.
No, play is a verb.
Verb is just a play, right?
I don't know.
Look, might have had this game on the big screen. I know what you're thinking. There's a great slate. And why did you have this on the big screen? Well, UMass over 2.5 wins cash today. Your boy Dundee gave it away. I feel like I'm just bragging the whole episode. All right.
It's nothing new. It's nothing new.
This is what I feel like when I'm doing the show these days. All right. I feel like, wait. I got this here. I got this. Where the hell are you now? I feel essentially like,
while you're looking, I want to.
Here we go.
The best looking man, the best dressed man, long limousines, jet airplanes, custom made clothes, and any woman in the world I want. Just like that.
Feeling good.
UMass over 2.5 wins. Are you talking Louisville still?
Louisville, number 24 offense, number 15 defense. Better than most people think. That's probably only a handful of teams, both in the top 25 in both categories.
The off season, there was someone, preaching. Preaching.
I got to give you credit. And we're going to get to my off-season number one play, which officially died on the vine with 3 games left. Holy shit. What a disappointment. And yet, once again, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. But
first, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching. Start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. So UMass cashed that over.
Nice.
Just feeling really good about
it. What are they? 3-6 now?
Yeah, 3-6.
Not bad.
Donnie Brown and Patty C. They still have a very winnable game on that schedule. Not next week, or they have a bye next week. Then they go to the Flamin' Libs. They'll lose that game, but they end the season in the Cum Bowl. UConn, UMass.
Oh, nice.
That game's always great.
That's a fun one. And UConn looks like ass. So UMass might
4 wins, baby.
Yeah, might be able to get
baby steps. All right. I did take Houston on the money line to beat Baylor. They won 25-24 in overtime. This was a legit insane fucking sweat. This was a crazy fucking sweat because I thought Houston had it, then they didn't. Then you thought they weren't, and then they did. And then it was back and forth. Yeah, Holgerson goes for 2 in the win. Gets it done.
He's laughing his ass off.
He's fucking great. He's great for college football. So their remaining schedule: home to Cincy, home to Oklahoma State, at UCF. They're 4-5. Can he get to a bowl in year 1?
It's possible. I mean, certainly Cincy is. I flip a coin in that game right now. And then Oklahoma State, that's a loss. And what was the other one? UCF.
Yeah, UCF.
It's gonna be tough for them to get to bowling.
I mean, they could. I got no idea who's winning that fucking game.
I don't think they're beating Oklahoma State, but they could beat both Cincinnati and UCF.
Georgia 30, Missouri 21. Hilarious interception by the defensive tackle of the Bulldogs. I thought I took Georgia minus 15 or 16, whatever the fuck it was. I didn't actually bet this game, but I picked it, and I thought Georgia. I almost bet this. I was very close. Had I been paying attention to my phone a little bit more right before the kick, I think I would have bet it. But
I thought Missouri was live dog here prior to the game, and most of the game they were. Now Georgia was the better team. They controlled that game, but Missouri was in it for most of it. I don't know. Georgia pulled away in the second half.
Yeah. I mean, Mizzou had their shot.
Oh, was it tied at halftime? Obviously,
they had their shot, man. Yeah. If anything, I came away kind of impressed with Mizzou.
Yeah.
Tulane, East Carolina, folks. I told you to take East Carolina money line. It almost hit. East Carolina was in the lead all the way to the fourth quarter. Tulane got their first lead of the game, 13-10 in the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah, it was tied at half, and
I knew they were going to get up. Now they didn't win, but we still covered.
That's impressive. And Tulane continues to just underwhelm despite finding a way to win every week.
Yeah,
they are not the team they were last year, but Air Force just opened the door for them to go back to the New Year's Six. I don't know. I know that you're not a big bowl projection guy. It does not matter to you, but at this point, who would you say the top group of 5 team is?
I mean, I've if you listen to the Dan Debate's top 25, it's been the James Madison Dukes for quite a while.
Hello.
We'll get to them, but ECU, we locked up that cover. I knew they would play them close. I knew that was going to be a game. UCF 28, Cincinnati 26. The floor is yours, Patty C.
Well, what they outgained them by like 120 yards again, or 115 yards. This is the story of Cincinnati football. They play good football, but they make stupid mistakes, which makes me think, Scott Satterfield. I want to look back, but I feel like that's kind of his go-to. Is he
to lose?
He generates, a good yardage. He has a Brian Brown's a good defensive coordinator, but he finds ways to lose, and they did that again. And it's usually almost every week just a special teams gaffe that makes your head want to explode.
Cincinnati did have 515 yards of offense.
Yeah, that it's a decent performance. Like these close losses, if he could turn these into close wins,
they lost the turnover battle. That's probably the difference.
Yeah,
I mean, 2-point game,
close loss. They went for 2 at the end. They didn't get it. You can't.
There was a great 4th and 1 by Emory Jones where he decided to spike the ball.
Oh no, he threw it.
Not spike,
threw it away.
Yeah,
he fumbled on 4th and 1.
Then he picked it up and threw it out of bounds.
Threw it into the stands. Fucking idiot. That's what I mean. This is the stupidest fucking.
At Dumbass University, we will have.
We trained Emory Jones.
Yes, we will definitely have classes on the 4th and 1, throw it away. The fourth down, throw it away situation,
or the fair catch it on the 1 yard line.
Love the fair catch at the 1 yard line.
Fucking morons.
So Patty C, they're 2-7. At Houston next week, I would favor the Cougars. Right. At West Virginia the very next week, I would certainly favor West Virginia. Home to Kansas the following week, I would favor Kansas.
Yeah.
Are we looking at a 2-9 season for the Bearcats?
2-10, I guess.
I mean 2-10. I can't. At Dumbass University, we can't count.
We can't count to 12. It could be. I think they're. I've been saying every week though that I think they can. They should win one of these, but they don't. They keep finding ways. What is it? A 7 game?
They're not going to beat those teams, man.
Hold on. Say it again. West Virginia is a loss. Houston could be a win, and then Kansas. That's a loss. So yeah, 3-9 at best. I feel like, and then Houston's like a coin flip to me. But at this point, I'm on the.
They paid you Louisville for him. Louisville got Jeff Brom and a bag of cash. One of the greatest deals.
Here's what I really mean is that based on how good Cincinnati has been over the past 5, 6, 7, really 10, 15 years, I think he's taking a talented program and finding ways to lose. I don't give him credit for outgaining the other team. Yardage wise, I think Cincinnati's talent is responsible for that. And I think situational football is where Scott Satterfield proves to be a fucking awful coach. And that's why he should be out the door. What a disappointing season. Every week I have to get on here and make the same speech. And it's the same thing every week.
It's not the same thing. Well, no, this is the same thing actually. One of my favorite bets of the whole weekend. I know NC Nick was with me. I think we triple locked this actually. Maryland was getting 8 points at home against Penn State. We said, no. I know firsthand back in 2018 or 19 when I thought Mike Loxley might be able to upset the Penn State Nittany Lions. They lost 59-0. Yeah. Ever since then, we've been betting Penn State.
Yeah, we have a strong history department at Dumbass U.
Yeah, Dumbass University, believe it or not, does have a little bit of knowledge when it comes to history because Penn State -8 was a triple lock. I had a few C notes on this game. Boom, 51-15.
Wow.
Maryland sucks, dude. And I
and
know
their
we
uniforms-
argued this last year. Or I'm sorry, last week. We had a great argument segment on us. Maryland is a terrible football team.
If you can make Penn State's offense look that good, you are terrible.
Dude, their wins: Towson, Charlotte, Virginia, Michigan State, Indiana. And they still might make a bowl. This is what we're clinging on to. And people say, well, Ohio State beat Maryland. They beat Maryland. It's a good win. No, Maryland sucks. Oh man. I mean, this was the easiest bet of the whole fucking weekend, dude.
This
was
kind
the
of
easiest bet of the whole fucking
is the one that
weekend.
makes the Penn State Ohio State outcome even more confusing.
Yeah.
Because Ohio State really struggled with Maryland for like 3 quarters, and Penn State romped them from minute 1, and yet Penn State couldn't do shit on Ohio State. You figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, easy play. Was there a more easy? Like I know we were on fire today, but I mean, that one we can call in like January every year. when you see the schedules align, you're like, oh, week 10. That's gonna be easy money. We're just gonna fade that. It's just a fucking. It's a cash machine. It's a cash machine every year. James Madison, 42, Georgia State, 14. Where's NC Nick? Because me and you took JMU minus the points.
Hello.
Dominating. Once again, dominating.
Well, I'll say this. This was one where we broke them in the second half. We were only up 7.5, but we hung 28 on them in the second half and really pulled away. 28-point win.
Dude, they dominated the game. I watched this thing. JMU dominated the fucking game. Even when it was close in the first half, they were still dominating the game. They just weren't they're missing field goals, leaving points out there.
Yeah.
McLeod threw for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. And your defensive line is fucking awesome, dude.
Most of their yards came on 2 plays. There's a Granger with the 58-yard touchdown, and I forgot the other one was somewhere in the 40 range. So,
I'm just gonna say this: JMU would easily win the Big Ten West.
Maybe
that includes my Iowa Hawkeyes.
If
that was in Iowa City, they could lose. But if Iowa had to go to Harrisonburg, JMU would beat them.
So it's a bold claim,
buddy. They're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They've been up double digits in every game except one this year.
Yeah, except Troy. Troy's proven to be a pretty good team. Most weeks. So yeah, I do think JMU is awesome. Are very good. I think that McLeod is a limited but good quarterback. I think Horton, the fullback, is
limited but good. Have you watched Kyle McCord?
Is a very good tailback.
Have you watched there's a bunch of limited quarterbacks.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that makes a difference on how good a team is. But defensively, excellent. It was at 30.
I mean, there's a guy named Jalen Green that's fucking Derek Thomas 2.0.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah, it was 4th and 2. Darren Granger's first touchdown run was 30 yards. And then the other one was 58. So 88 of his 103 rushing yards were on 2 plays. Other than that, JMU did pretty much completely shut down Georgia State, who was 6-2 coming into the game. To win that game by 28 points
on the road.
Yeah,
dude, that's a dominating performance.
Look, I mean, I don't want to hype. I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but honestly, with Tulane struggling with a 1 win,
they would beat Tulane right now. They would beat Tulane.
I think that we would, and then who knows if we would beat Colorado or Air Force rather. But I
don't know about that because triple option always fucks it.
Sure, but resume wise, I think the loss to what a 3-win Army now.
Yeah,
that's a pretty bad loss. So I think from a resume standpoint, if JMU does become bowl eligible, I don't know if the committee will consider them for the New Year's Six, but I would think that they would be on a very, very, very short list, maybe 2 or 3 teams that would be in consideration for that spot.
Yeah. Shout out to Dick Gershberger's talking CFL in the chat. I was on the BC Lions minus the points tonight too. That cashed. Hopefully you got that on my VSiN appearance, but yeah, I mean the cash was just coming in. Iowa 10, Northwestern 7. Wrigley Field was rocking, and football was back to the way it's supposed to look. All right, Iowa. I have a future on them. I have an over ticket on them, and they moved to 7-2. They should be 8-1. Remaining schedule: home to Rutgers, home to Illinois, at Nebraska. You can't fire Brian Ferentz if he wins the national championship, can you?
I mean, if you win the Big Ten, like they talk about, okay, a 2-loss SEC team is probably going if they beat Georgia. Say Alabama takes a loss to Auburn, but still goes to the SEC championship game, beats Georgia, right? Then maybe Alabama gets in, right?
Yeah.
What about Iowa beating either a 12-0 Michigan or Ohio State? Why would they not get the same treatment? With the 2 losses?
Because they think the offense is so bad.
Yeah.
But they'll put USC in, who hasn't tackled anybody in fucking 5 years. You know what I mean? Or longer than that.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah. Since Sark was enjoying happy hour.
That would be the greatest thing that could ever happen this season.
Dude, they should be 7-1. They should be fucking 7-1.
Yeah.
They would be going 11-1 because you look at this. I know theoretically Rutgers or Illinois could still win. Actually, Rutgers' defense is good.
Yeah.
Rutgers could win that game.
It's coming along.
Yeah. Fascinating. You know we love Iowa football.
Yeah.
Big time performance there. ULM 7, Southern Miss 24. I did lose money here. I did wager on ULM. I thought they were turning a corner. They suck ass. I don't know. Like I have a hard read. I don't understand ULM.
Iowa, by the way, number 19 defense this year, but the number 133 offense. So not quite first and last like they were last year, but pretty close.
Their defense is their offense. That's why you can't look at those numbers. Look at Dumbass University. I'll teach that. All right. Defense is offense. Special teams is offense. Well, yeah, they're not factoring those into the numbers. They got
their only touchdown off of a block punt today.
That's what I'm saying. And
they scored a few plays later.
Yeah. The block punt gave them the energy to
inside the 20-yard line.
We had a barn burner going on, and I feel like I'm going to celebrate even more, Patty C. So buckle up. Me and the great CJ Sullivan, man in the box, host of the Bottom Line Bob's podcast.
Great man.
We both had Charlotte over 2.5 wins, and it took every little bit of Biff Poggi, but they went to H.A. Chapman Stadium against Tulsa, and I'm sweating out Tulsa under 4.5 wins. I have several bets, multiple hundreds of dollars on both teams, but Charlotte cashed 33-26. They beat Tulsa. They cashed the over.
Yeah.
Woo.
And Biff Poggi is vindicated for his preseason rant about the media not wanting to pay attention.
That's right. Cashed is over. The media was off, but Dundee was on. All right. Dundee and Sullivan, the man in the box. We knew what the fuck we're talking about. Now Tulsa is 3-6, and Tulsa's got to win 2 games for me to lose my bet. I'm under 4.5. I might have a few C notes. I think altogether because I have multiple bets on this play. They're at Tulane next week. Loss. Then they got
maybe.
Then home to North Texas.
If Tulane plays like they did against ECU,
Tulsa sucks, dude. They're a really terrible team.
Yeah. 3-6.
Home to North Texas. Loss.
Probably.
At North ECU. My boys are gonna have to be the ones to cash my payout.
Tulsa could be 6-6 here.
No.
You took the over, the under.
Under 4.5.
4.5. That's probably good.
Cash today.
They got to be 1 and 2 in the next ones.
Yeah,
you said it. Like ECU.
They're at Tulane.
At Tulane. Let's call that a loss. Yes.
Okay. Home to North Texas.
A little bit of a 50-50 game.
No, North Texas.
The fact that it's at home though gives Tulsa a little edge.
North Texas is better. They'll be favored.
You're going to be sweating on that.
You want to bet North Texas is favored? They can win that one, and I'm still okay. Then they got to go to Greenville, North Carolina, and Mike Houston
face the mighty Pirates.
Yes.
The sweat on Tulsa is there, but I think you are in a decent spot.
Folks, if you're watching on YouTube, stay put. Into the A side, go into the B side. You know how it works. All right, let's go. This is the college football experience. We'll be right back. If you're listening to this on the audio side, make sure you check out the B side where we go through the games that happened later. We're going chronologically here on the college football experience week 10 reaction show. All right, we are back on the college football experience week 10 reaction show. I've been kind of bragging for the past hour.
The past 7 years.
Longer than that.
Yeah.
We didn't have a show.
All right, but you were still bragging.
But I was calling you. It's calling you even when you're on the East Coast.
I should pull up some of the old emails you used to send.
Oh man,
about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah.
Some fire emails after college football Saturday.
Speaking of fire emails, I'm pretty sure Auburn's probably did a few of those about potentially getting Brian Harsin fired. But Auburn 31, Vanderbilt 15. Now Auburn has the all-time lead in this series.
Finally, we're ahead of Vanderbilt.
Took a long time, but Hugh Strip Club freeze 31 points to Vanderbilt's 15. Vandy didn't cover. I thought they would cover. I didn't bet this, but I thought they would cover. I was wrong.
Strip Club freeze 1 game away from bowling now in year 1. What's the remaining schedule there?
I have a ticket on the over here,
and that was
6.5.
6.5. Woo!
So they're 5-4.
More. Yeah,
they're at Arkansas.
That's winnable.
And then they're home to Diego pissing Pavia in New Mexico State.
Should be a win, but they're decent.
It's nice for you to admit that.
Well, they're 7-3 New Mexico State. That's not a guaranteed win for Auburn.
And then home to Alabama, where I think they're going to beat them. Strip Club freeze against Saban. What could happen, Patty?
A bold statement. But even if they win those first 2, they cash for you.
Yeah,
very nice.
We got to hit it. Hawaii 27, Nevada 14. I did bet this game. I bet a decent amount of money on Nevada, and I lost. I'm not complaining too much because I won a bunch of other bets, but I did eat a big old bag of shit here. But the Rainbow Warriors get their 3rd win of the season.
Well, I am curious here. Shager, the old 5.3 yards per attempt is not going to.
There was no Shager bombs. There was just
Shager checkdowns.
Yeah.
38 attempts for 203 yards. Not gonna do it. Not gonna explode, but it did win the game. So Hawaii 3-7.
Nevada. I love you, Ken Wilson. You're a nice guy. I appreciated my time hanging out with you, but I think they maybe you give them 1 more year out of just courtesy, but I don't know. When you see some other coaches that are out there, just saying.
Ken Wilson was promoted from within. Was that his hiring situation after?
Somewhat within. He was at Oregon with Cristobal, and before that he was with Leach at Washington State. But before that he was with Chris Ott at Nevada for like 20 years.
Okay,
so
brought him back.
Yeah. By the way, quick score update while we're going through this. Fresno State up 10 in the 4th, 7 minutes left. I am on the Fresno State Bulldogs. Oregon State up 14 on the Buffs, 5 minutes left. Arizona up on UCLA with about 14 minutes left. I'm riding the Wildcats there.
And they are 10 yards away from scoring and putting themselves up 2 scores.
Let's go.
UCLA.
Noah Fafita, baby. Let's go. You and NC Nick were really hyping up this Georgia Southern team and really putting down GJ Kinney and Texas State. I tried to warn you guys.
I don't know that I was really.
I tried to warn you guys. Maybe you had too many Jaeger bombs.
I feel like you're putting words in my mouth. And I wasn't trying to.
I tried to warn you guys that GJ Kinney and Texas State are fucking for real, man. Go in there. You got those Lone Star beers.
TJ Finley's bounced around. No, wait, that's not. Is that the same TJ Finley?
Yep.
6'7".
That is the same TJ Finley.
6'7", 255. Why is he only listed as a sophomore? I feel like he's been in college football.
Maybe he didn't play more than 4 games.
Could be.
He has been in college 75 years, but
yeah,
you know how it is these days. What didn't we see a stat when we were at lunch today where it's like, like every quarterback in college football is 35 years old. Yeah, I was on Texas State. That hit.
That offense continues to roll.
I did take Cal plus 27. They got destroyed by Oregon. Oregon kind of ran it up though, unnecessarily. 21 in the 4th there.
That's very.
Wilcox is a former Duck himself. What are you doing, you bastards?
Texas State, by the way, the number 11 offense in the country.
GJ Kinney.
He's getting hired.
The Ducks roll late. I mean, they were rolling in general, but
they might be the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Bo Nix might be the Heisman winner. I know we don't talk about that on this show, but if he can, I mean, Michael Penix certainly in that kind of short, it might be one of those 2 guys, Bo Nix or Michael Penix.
That was a dominating performance. So Oregon, you know who they get next week? They are hosting USC. They're going to beat the shit out of USC. They're going to beat the shit out of USC.
They will. They're
Oregon,
a far better team.
Oregon. It's going to be Oregon, Washington again, huh?
It might be. I mean, Oregon State obviously
That
still
filthy
in that.
stadium in Vegas.
Oregon State has how many losses?
2.
2 losses. But
no, they can still control their own destiny.
All they have to do is beat both
Oregon.
of them.
Yeah.
Or no? Do they play Washington?
Yeah, they do play. They do play Washington.
So if they win even one of those, they're probably.
That's
fine.
true. That's true. Marshall, App State. I was on App State -3.5. Easy play as the Mountaineers get that dub, and my ticket for App State over 6 wins. Very much alive. 5-4. They have 3 games left. At Georgia State, at James Madison, home to Georgia Southern. At least win one of those so I can get my money back. All right.
What is Georgia Southern's record right now? Are they 6-3?
Georgia Southern is 6-3. Correct.
So 6-3, 9-0, 6-3 left on their slate. That's a tough end of the season for App State. And you have to win how many of those? You have to win all 3 for them to hit the over?
No, they need 1 win to tie.
1 win to tie. 1 win to push.
Yeah, 2 wins to win.
You might get the push.
I might. No, what? I think I'm going to get the push.
They look better.
Yeah, they look better. And by the way, I hope you guys cash in on the under on Iowa, Northwestern, and Air Force and Army, which I gave away this morning. See the chat talking about it. UNLV 56, New Mexico 14. Shoe Math, are you here? I must owe you a large apology, and I did lose a shit ton of money on my win total, beginning back in August on our win locks total.
Who would have thought UNLV
They're
would be
fucking really fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shoe Math. He's a UNLV fan, and he warned me not to do it, and I said no. I don't think UNLV could win 7 games, which his history's kind of on my side. They hadn't won 7 since like fucking Icky Woods. But no, Patty C, they could play for the Mountain West Championship here. Now, the season starts this upcoming week, I would say, for UNLV. Home to Wyoming, at Air Force, home to San Jose State. Any of those 3 teams could beat them.
Home to Wyoming. They should. I guess I can't say they should beat them.
No,
to UNLV?
I can't just say UNLV is going to beat Wyoming.
Oh, wait. No, I was saying Wyoming should beat UNLV.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying like
that's
UNLV controls their own destiny.
Looking like a coin toss more and more.
Look, going into November 10th, Friday night game.
Yeah.
UNLV controls their own destiny to get to the Mountain West Championship.
Yeah.
That is fucking incredible.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Barry Odom doing a hell of a job. Are they counterfeit? I don't know. Number 44 offense, number 91 defense. Those numbers don't scream dominant, but 7-2 is 7-2. And look, UNLV finally emerging as a powerhouse in the in the Mountain West.
It must have been that week that Bobby Petrino was their offensive coordinator. Folks, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by good old Prize Picks. Look, with basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball with the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that include 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, LeBron James, Travis Kelce at a 10.5 combo of 3-pointers made and receptions. Look, and you can play along some of your favorite celebrities like rapper Meek Mill or comedian Andrew Schultz. Just go to community plays under the promos tab in the app once, and you'll be able to view the entries of some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each and every week. And Prize Picks also offers a reboot policy. So if your players, NBA players, they just randomly just say, you know what? I was up late with the wife last night and I'm not going to be able to play today. So you never know when your starter might not just play. So look, what's great about Prize Picks is they offer a reboot policy. All right. If your player doesn't play, or perhaps if he gets injured in the first half and doesn't play in the second, that player's rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an insurance or an injury insurance policy. So check it out. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Use that promo code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN. Promo code SGPN. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. All right. We are back. UNLV. Great story. You know what else is a great story? The Flamin' Libs. They put up 56 on La Tech. They covered. I'm coming for you, NC Nick, who took the points with that filthy, terrible La Tech team.
Pretty consistent output for Liberty. 14 points in each and every quarter.
They're going undefeated, dude.
Probably going undefeated.
So look, remaining schedule. Home to Old Dominion. Huge game, actually. ODU's good enough to beat them.
Sure.
Home to UMass. Look, UMass is no, I'm joking. At UTEP, the Sun Bowl. It could be cold on November 25th, but
They will
still
get something that JMU won't, which is that 13th data point, which the committee so values by winning their conference championship game. So maybe Liberty is the team that's going to get that New Year's Sixth berth, especially because they're no longer an independent.
Dude, that's only going to
moving into a conference.
That's only going to they're only going to get more money into their program because it's going to fire up the fan base.
Yeah, Liberty has a lot of potential. Because they don't care.
You know who else has potential? I told you this when they hired Jerry Kill. And you listened to me this year. We both locked up the over on New Mexico State. That cashed last week at 5.5. They're now 7-3 as they beat Rick Stockstill in Middle Tennessee, 13-7, with Diego pissing Pavia, the greatest quarterback in all of football, throwing for 220. He'll fuck you up. I dare you to talk shit.
Where did the name?
Brian Bosworth wouldn't talk shit to Diego pissing Pavia. I'll tell you that.
What did the nickname Diego pissing Pavia?
Remember he pissed on the New Mexico Lobos logo at midfield. So New Mexico State, Patty C, is 7-3. They're at Western Kentucky this week.
Yeah.
Think they can win that? I think they could.
Western Kentucky. What's their record? They're solid.
They're solid, but they're 4-4.
Okay. Yeah, they can win that.
At Auburn against Strip Club Freeze, but they're catching them the week before Auburn plays Bama.
Look ahead spot.
And then home to Rich Rod. Tough remaining schedule in a way. They're going to win 8 games. They're going to win one of those. That's a huge step. They won 7 last year. They're already at 7 this year.
How old's Jerry Kill? He's got to be in his early to mid 60s, maybe late 50s or early 60s. You would think.
62 years old.
62.
I think he's okay being here for the next 10 years.
My question is he going to get plucked?
I don't think he wants to anymore.
You think he's happy in
he's had that time. He's had that time, man. He was Minnesota's head coach. All right. I don't know. Maybe. Fuck. Money changes people. You know what I mean?
Right. Money talks. 8 wins at New Mexico State talks.
7 last year in year 1. 7-6.
He's a fucking good coach, man. You just can't deny that.
Yeah, they had never gone to back-to-back bowl games in like their history. That's incredible.
A guy with a name like Jerry Kill.
Great name.
Where should he be? What would be a fitting? Maybe San Diego State for him.
No, I like him at New Mexico State. I like the Aggies with that awesome fucking logo and Diego pissing Pavia. I like everything about New Mexico State.
I like it too. Let's hope he stays.
I did eat a big old bag of shit on this one. I lost some money on this one. Iowa State lost to Kansas, and look, I won money on Kansas every week pretty much, and also on the win total over each and every year. They're my darlings. But Patty C, I'm going to go ahead and say this, and people will say it's ridiculous. Lance Leipold, best coach in football. What if I told you Jalen Daniels has only played like 3 games? He's doing this with Jason Bean. They're very much alive to play for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, their remaining slate. Hit me with it.
Home to Texas Tech next week.
Winnable.
At or home to Kansas State. Sunflower Showdown.
Winnable.
At Cincinnati.
Win. Would that? They need some help, right?
The good news is they do need some help, but the good news is I feel like a lot of
help is going to happen.
Yeah, they're playing each other. Like West Virginia's at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma or Texas has got to play at Iowa State.
Yeah,
you're getting a lot of these matchups.
But they have 2 conference losses at this point, and it looks like you can't say that Texas Tech or Kansas State
for sure. Yeah,
but 100%. They get them both at home. That's
I'll
huge.
say Cincinnati's for sure.
I would say so at this point. Yeah, because again, Kansas State is like Iowa State with the excellent coaching. I think that's probably why you did it. You were a little torn. Maybe you were.
No, I thought after they celebrate, and this is the first top 10 win
against Oklahoma. You're talking about
Kansas' first top 10 win at home since the 80s.
And their first win over Oklahoma.
Yeah, they took the goalpost and threw it in some fucking, they called it a lake. It looked like a pond. All right. I thought that, dude, this is a great way to fade them. Matt Campbell should have beat him last year. I thought that would happen. It didn't. Lance Leipold is a fucking genius. My fault for steering, people away from taking Kansas, but I have a future on Kansas to win the Big 12. So it's not like I was devastated by this. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. But let's go 7-2. Patty C.
Yeah.
They're at least going to win 9 games.
That's a hell of a job he's doing there.
Unbelievable.
Fucking unbelievable. Again, I mean, you take who's their big rotund coach in 2000? Mangino. You take that season away. How long had it been since they've been in the 9 to 10 win range?
I thought Mangino had like 2 years.
I think he was too.
Yeah.
List of Kansas football season. I'm gonna look this up, but I'm pretty sure this type of season is very hard to come by for the Jayhawks. I'll get that looked up.
I mean, there's a shot they go 10-2 with the backup quarterback. How many games did Jalen Daniels start? I think it was Illinois.
Mangino's best season outside of his 12-1 2007 season was 8-5 the following year. So this, if he does win
7-2 right now.
Yeah, if he wins 2 of the next 3, then it'll only be the second 9-win season in Lawrence since 1995. And he's doing it in
Kansas fans. You got to stop fucking around. Michigan State's going to try to come there with their Big Ten money and all their bullshit. You need to pay Leipold to stay there. I think he wants to stay there.
Yeah.
I think he wants to stay in Lawrence.
This was a team that won exactly 9 games in the 6 years before he got there. Now in year 3, he's about to.
It's not even really year 3. He was hired in May.
Yeah.
So like you couldn't even recruit, you didn't even have spring ball.
Yeah.
It's basically year 2.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Their win percentage chart is just a rocket ship going upwards.
Let's go. I lost money on Iowa State. I actually lost a couple $100 there, but I did bet Utah State -2, and that sweat was intense. Double overtime, 32-24 against the Aztecs of San Diego State. It was a great day today, man. I know I lost a few, but I'm saying like I fucking was on fire today. This is my best day of the year.
San Diego State has to get rid of
Brady Hoke. Chris Peterson sitting there in studio in LA. Fucking call him.
Yeah.
He's cutting jokes. You know what I mean? Get him down there.
San Diego State is a aggressive defensive squad. I think we discussed this briefly. Chris Peterson, a great California guy, but I feel like it's not San Diego State's identity, although it could be. But I want something aggressive down in San Diego. Who could be the guy? I mean, Rich Rodriguez seems like he could definitely be that guy. He's already gone out west and succeeded at
Peterson's
Arizona.
a California guy, though. It makes sense, man.
It would make sense.
What if they hired? Who the fuck could they get that would really be? I mean,
it'd be kind of funny if they got Rich Rodriguez and Brady Hoke and then hire Rich Rodriguez. Exactly opposite of Michigan.
That would be. I didn't even think about that. They should give him a phone call at least.
Yeah.
Give him a phone call. Talk to the guy. Hoke should be done. He's terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't bet this game, but I took West Virginia minus the points. They won 37-7 against BYU. Keaton Slovis didn't play, but Dub V 6-3 now. Patty C. They could play for the Big 12 championship. Let's talk about Dub V for a second, because I think if they win, you can say that next week, if they win in Norman, I think I'm going to go ahead and say they've clinched then.
On what basis? They're 6-3.
Because after that it's Cincinnati and Baylor, and I feel like they're going to beat both of them.
So, but okay,
I know they need a little help, but not really. And what's crazy is they lost on a Hail Mary to Houston.
Yeah,
they should be.
Yeah, one loss in conference. Yeah. West Virginia is a legit team. They whooped the dog shit out of BYU today. That was surprising. BYU has regressed. Well, I don't know if it's coming to the Power 5 to the Big 12, but I don't think so. I think they've just gotten a little worse because they've been a good team for a few years prior to this. Legit good team, I feel like.
You're seeing Puka Nacua kill it in the NFL.
Yeah,
they could use someone like him on this team. Yeah. West Virginia at Oklahoma next week. You think they beat them? I think Oklahoma could lose it. Grover. I know he says no way that Sooners are losing 3. I don't think they were ever that good. I honestly believe if you watch Oklahoma, I think they have serious problems at a lot of positions. I think they have very bad wide receivers. Yeah. I think they struggle to run the ball. I think the defense is not nearly as good as what people thought it was. I think that defense is kind of shitty, actually. So I think Dub V.
Colby is constantly furious watching that offense. That
I hate that offense, dude.
It's
a
Jeff
gimmick
Levy's
offense.
Yeah.
I've always wherever he's gone.
Yeah.
Bullshit. All right.
I mean, they make some plays.
Yeah, you'll win 8 games every year, but you won't have my respect. I don't know, but Dub V, Neil Brown. We thought he was going to be fired. Look at him.
His job is safe as long as
the over
as long as he doesn't lose out. 6-6, and then maybe a bowl loss might get him canned. But
I took Rice plus 12 points as a lock. They almost won the game outright. Surprise, surprise. JT Daniels did get injured, but you got to factor that into your handicap.
I mean,
Rice covers though. SMU continues to be this fakest team in the country.
I don't know if I buy the idea that SMU is that fake. I mean,
dude, I would lay 10 with JMU against SMU.
Okay.
JMU has like legit good wins, right?
I guess yes. For most of their schedules,
like
respectable.
South Alabama's a winning team. South Alabama beat Oklahoma State by 27 and still won.
No, that's a okay win. Yeah. I'm not going to say it's a great win. Troy's a pretty darn good win. You know.
Okay.
Let me look at the rest of JMU's schedule. UVA is not a good win, but when you consider the other teams, I think we were going over this earlier. The teams that UVA has lost close to: Boston College, who's 6-3, Miami, who's 6-3, North Carolina State, who's 6-3. You know, UVA, and they beat a top 10 team. Yes, they've laid some clunkers, but overall, you know, they are competitive against good teams. And so JMU beating them only by 1 point, despite and leading at 1 point by multiple scores, I think that's a respectable win.
Well, my point is those wins. Let me I think almost every team JMU has played is better than the best win that SMU has. Well, before today, Rice is the best win they have. Rice though is now 4-5, right?
Yeah,
that is by far the best win that SMU has. Right, their second best win. I want to ask you who you think it is. Is it Louisiana Tech? Is it Prairie View? Is it Charlotte? Is it East Carolina? Is it Temple or is it Tulsa?
That's bad.
They don't have a win against a team with a winning record. And guess what? It ain't going to come next week because they play 3-6 North Texas.
That's true. I would say JMU probably has what?
JMU is better than SMU.
Georgia State, Old Dominion, Marshall, Georgia Southern, South Alabama, Utah State, Troy.
All better.
Virginia.
All better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for the future of SMU too.
Yeah, SMU I think has potential, especially when they get that thing going. Plus the uniforms are glorious.
Washington USC. I took Washington -3. I didn't bet it, but I did bet the over, and that was easy money, 52-42. The internet's making fun of Caleb Williams crying.
Poor guy. You know, maybe he just hasn't
Hell
matured.
of a good quarterback.
He certainly probably hasn't lost that much in life.
Patty C. So USC is 7-3. They have Oregon and UCLA left on their schedule. Are they going to go 7-5?
Oregon and UCLA. It's very possible.
I think they kind of are. I think UCLA is a tougher team
is
than
the
them.
Ceiling. I don't think they're going to sniff. They're going to be blown out by halftime against Oregon. I would think. UCLA. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. They're both in LA.
I think UCLA is a tougher team though.
Yeah, flip a coin on that one.
Yeah. Washington wins, gets it done.
Remains undefeated.
Double-digit win. Now Washington hosts Utah this next week. Then they're in Corvallis, and then they host Washington State in perhaps the final Apple Cup.
That's not an easy road.
Yeah.
Who's the first one on that of the next three?
Week? Home to Utah.
Dude, that's
in
a
Seattle.
fucking tough road.
Utah struggles on the road though, especially with this quarterback.
Utah, Oregon State, and Washington State.
Yeah.
I don't think they make it through that stretch.
They can afford one loss. They still get there.
They're still probably getting there. Yeah.
That's what could kick Oregon out.
They could make it through that stretch, but they've been looking a little suspect lately. Washington.
Is Lincoln Riley going to be the head coach of USC next year, Patty C?
I mean, now that fucking Las Vegas, the Raiders seems like the perfect gig for him. I'm sure they'd love a dynamic offense, put some butts in the seat. You were talking about it before, how they can't fill out the Death Star for shit with a home crowd.
No, the NFL has successfully ruined one of the best franchises They've done this a lot. The NFL has done this with the Oilers. They've done this with the Redskins.
Yeah.
Right. They did it with the Raiders. The Raiders are ruined.
Yeah.
You go to a Raiders game and it's like 80% the other fucking team.
Yeah.
People come in all from Vegas. You took away one of the coolest teams. When I was a kid, I was always like terrified if the team had to go play the Raiders. You're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, no, it's like a fucking, yeah.
You might get shot in the parking lot in fucking Oakland.
Yeah.
No, you might get
even if it was LA.
A lap dance in the parking lot.
Me and Leach used to talk about it. Me and Mike Leach used to talk about, Mike Leach went to Pepperdine for his grad school.
Yeah.
He would go to Raider games. He was talking about how sketchy it was to go to the Coliseum here. Yeah.
I've been to Baltimore games. It has a probably similar vibe.
Yeah. Purdue really fucked me over here. I took Michigan, only put $50 on Michigan minus 32, but it was hitting before Purdue threw a touchdown with 15 seconds left.
Yeah. First
Bastards.
team to get over 10 points on Michigan. Congrats to Purdue after Ryan Walters talked all that shit about Michigan in the week. They managed to keep it a semi respectable. 41-13 respectable. Not
yes. Really. I guess
putting out the highest scoring output of the season on Michigan, I guess, is an accomplishment. Now Michigan, if they wanted to stop them from doing that, why did you go press coverage, man coverage on the last play of the fucking game?
Michigan's best win is UNLV, dude.
Yeah, but that's starting to be a fucking good win.
No, that's by far the best win that they have.
Yeah.
Incredible. They play Michigan plays at Penn State next week, their first real game of the season.
I'm interested.
Comes in week 11.
Look, Penn State. Those are the top two defenses in the country.
I think they're going to beat Penn State.
Michigan number 1, Penn State number 2. Top 2 defenses in the country. That's kind of fun. Whiteout, but I want to say that's an early kick, right? I think that's a noon kick.
I think it is.
What fucking idiots! Idiots.
Yeah. Kentucky 24, Mississippi State 3. We were all no. You took the fucking Bulldogs, didn't you? I think you did.
I think I might have leaned them. No.
I can't remember.
I was on Kentucky.
I know I took Kentucky 24-3. They win in Starkville. Patty C. Kentucky host Alabama next week. It's a great letdown spot. It's in Lexington, Kroger Stadium.
Look,
Alabama. Let's talk about LSU Alabama because I lost money, a good amount of money. I felt really good that LSU was going to beat Alabama. One thing I did not factor in was that Jalen Milroe looks incredible against LSU's awful fucking defense.
Yeah.
The tackling by LSU, and I still say if Jalen Daniels plays the rest of that game, they probably would have came back and made it Alabama probably still would have won.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like it would have.
They decimated LSU's defensive front.
But I mean, LSU didn't punt until the third quarter.
Sure,
late third quarter, man.
That's kind of how I expected it to go, but I expected it to go to the opposite way. I thought Alabama's drives would eventually peter out and LSU would continue to score. I thought LSU would win by a couple touchdowns.
I did too.
But obviously, Daniel's getting hurt. But then Alabama just ran roughshod through him, and you pointed out a million times the strategy. And here's where
I was dumbfounded on the fucking strategy.
Well, you shouldn't have been. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some shit. After all your touting, you still keep forgetting that Brian Kelly is Brian Kelly. You can tell me about Grand Valley State. You can tell me about Central Michigan. When it comes to big time fucking football, he is who he is, and he loses big fucking games.
Well, he's 1-1 against Saban now. All right.
Okay. Fair enough.
And his QB got knocked out. They might have came back. Who knows?
Milroe.
That defense couldn't stop anybody though. Milroe looked incredible. He looked like Tommy Frazier.
He's so fast.
Yeah.
He's so fast.
Dude, how did they not load the box?
Yeah.
It was so obvious.
Stop dropping.
It was so fucking obvious what was going to happen. Me and Moneyline Mac were already arguing. He said, give Alabama the national championship now. No fucking way. How about
They're
this?
a threat.
Dude, they're going to be able to play Milroe better than LSU.
Dude,
really
they're a threat this year because no one.
Yeah, sure. Anyone can win the national championship this year, but I'm saying like LSU's game plan to me failed them. I would load the box. I'd live on the edge with. I know your corners suck. Who cares?
Yeah.
Milroe ail-mailed like 5 fucking deep balls today.
Yeah.
They did not have the right game plan coming into it. It fucking drove me crazy.
Yeah.
Load the fucking box. Make him beat you.
Yeah. Make him throw.
And the tackling by LSU, awful.
What was
they've turned into like fucking a Big 12 team, dude.
Yeah, they're kind of like Oklahoma now. Let's see. I want to get to that box score. How many rushing yards did Alabama have? 288 rushing yards.
Yeah. Well, how about Jalen Daniels?
Oh yeah,
had like 150 yards in rushing, 163 rushing yards in 3 quarters, pretty much.
15 yards a rush for Jalen.
3 quarters.
Jaden Daniels. Yeah, that's fucking insane. Alabama. Well, that's another thing you might point out is they have some defensive warts. However, right now, I got Alabama in the playoff. I think they go in and beat Georgia in the SEC championship. No. Georgia, I just don't see.
Georgia's going to be able to. They're not going to fall for that bullshit offense.
Maybe they'll shut down that offense. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Nice win for Bama though. I mean, I was wrong there. I really thought LSU was going to fuck them up.
I mean, but final. That is how Milroe is supposed to be used. 20 carries, 155 yards.
That is true.
4 rushing touchdowns.
That is true. But
15 of 23.
LSU never adjusted to that.
Yeah.
Like when you watch them against Arkansas, I feel like Arkansas had a much better game plan on how to stop Milroe.
Well, it's really shocking that anyone wouldn't be ready for that because that's all they can do with him.
No, but LSU's secondaries got shredded all year, so I think their game plan was a little bit different.
Try and not get shredded.
Shout out to Nick Saban though, great win. Anytime you can beat LSU, talk some shit.
Got to take that. By the way, let's focus on another negative for you, and let's celebrate this right now. Our lock battle preseason on LSU's win total as cash for me.
I lost that 9.5, right?
Take
9.5.
Take a swig of Pellegrino over there.
Hold on. Let's talk about this because well, hold on. Let me get us paid real quick. I want to tell you the college football experience is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use that promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. Patty C. So Alabama has 3 games left.
Yeah.
At Kentucky. See, to me, if they come out a little flat, or if Kentucky can just game plan a little bit of that,
they're gonna slap Kentucky.
Okay,
Kentucky sucks.
Home to Chattanooga, the Mocs,
barn burner.
Great SEC scheduling there, and then at Houston, at the Plains against Houston Strip Club Freeze. That's the one they're losing.
No, they're not. They're
that's the one they're losing.
11-1 and in the SEC championship.
What's Hugh Freeze's record against Saban?
That's a good question. What is it?
I think it's like 2-2.
Yeah. If Hugh Freeze does that year 1. I'll love him forever. That would be fucking great.
I don't know. LSU. LSU's remaining schedule.
Ole Miss though alive. Ole Miss needs to win out, and then
they play at Georgia this week.
Yeah, that's probably done.
LSU home to Florida this week, coming up. Then home to Georgia State. Then home to A&M.
They'll lose another one.
9-3, 8-4. NC State beats Miami 20-6. Me and NC Nick have an NC State over 6 wins that we're just waiting for right now as they play Wake Forest, Virginia Tech, and UNC on the remaining schedule. Patty C, we also, I think you might be in on this too. We have an under for Miami.
Whoa, there was like 8.5 preseason, right?
Yeah, I think we got it down to 8 though by the time we did it in August. They're 6-3 currently, but they're at Florida State, home to Louisville, and then at Boston College. They're not going to hit that. We're going to make money on Miami again.
I get the feeling that Miami may be the team to beat Florida State. I've had that feeling all year. It's just a rivalry.
Even if they beat that, they got to win. The next week they're home to Louisville. That means Louisville will beat them.
Lose that one. Yeah.
At Boston College, November 24th.
That could be for the push.
What do you make of Cristobal? 2 years in.
Not super impressed.
Is he the same as Manny Diaz?
He's better. No, he might be the same.
I think Manny Diaz's teams are more prepared.
I'll say this: Manny Diaz had some bad luck. Manny Diaz got bad bounces. I think Cristobal is doing an okay job. You got to give him some time. 8-4. If they go 8-4, that's acceptable. 7-5, a little tougher. If they manage to win out 9-3, I think that's okay. You know, that's pretty good. you definitely give them time. But as far as coming in and taking over and dominating like they were hoping would, no, this is a project.
Yeah,
give them time. But
they open the season in the swamp next year.
That's winnable. That would be a nice look for him. But is he ever going to get there? I don't think so. I don't think he's a good enough coach.
Yeah. Western Kentucky 21, UTEP 13. Hilltoppers rally late. They were losing at halftime to get the dub and to move to 5-4. One game away from a bowl game. Stanford beats Washington State 10-7.
Stanford is slowly turning into the team. Troy Taylor. You know, the funny thing is they're a scrappy team. They were a super explosive offense with him at Sac State. Now they're like a little grinding team.
I mean, they almost knocked off Washington last week, dude. If that trick play gets caught, they win probably. Nice win for Stanford there.
Well, I'll tell you that's the sign of a good coach if you can win in different ways.
Yeah. Fresno State beats Boise State 37-30. I was on that one. Let's still party because your boy Dundee had himself a fucking day. Oregon State beats Colorado 26-19. So Oregon State sitting here, Patty C, 7-2, and home to Stanford next week, 8-2. Home to Washington, potentially 9-2.
Before going
the Civil
to Oregon.
War for the final time, perhaps.
Man, I mean, they control their destiny. Correct. They have
they control their destiny.
2 losses
they
in
have
conference.
2. A 3-point loss to Arizona and a 3-point loss to Washington State. They're 6 points away from being undefeated. Yeah.
But the fact that Oregon has 1 loss and they would have the tiebreaker over them, if they beat them head to head, yes, they do control their own destiny.
Yeah,
they do. They can't afford another loss though. They have to run the table because
unless Washington loses to Utah or Washington State.
They could beat Washington. If they beat Washington, if they beat Washington and then Washington loses 1 more. But even then, if Oregon State loses another, they have 3 conference losses. So Washington would only have 2.
True.
So essentially, Oregon State needs to win out
pretty much
because if
just beat Oregon. No. They could.
But Oregon only has 1 conference loss. So even if they beat Oregon but lost another one,
they do.
Then Oregon would still have. Yeah, they got to win out.
Interesting. What about Arizona though? Because we're going to talk about them in a second. But first off, Fresno State wins. Fresno State sitting there. You got to think 8-1. They're 1 loss, a 5-point loss in Laramie. They're in San Jose next week. They're home to New Mexico. They're at San Diego State. This team's going to go 11-1.
Who are we talking about?
Fresno State.
Fresno State.
Assuming San Jose State might be able to get them, but if not, if that doesn't happen, they're going to go 11-1.
Fresno now may be the best group of 5.
Tedford's incredible.
Yeah.
Their 1 loss. They beat 2 Power 5s. First off, their 1 loss is a 5-point loss in Laramie, a very hard place to play.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
If USC is smart and Lincoln Riley leaves, they'd be smart to go get Jeff Tedford.
He's from Downey.
Finally coming home.
Colorado, Petty C. Their remaining schedule. They're now 4-5. Home to Arizona next week.
Colorado 4-5. Home to Arizona, probably a loss.
At Washington State.
Winnable.
At Utah.
They would have to win the next 2.
Yeah.
They're not beating Utah.
Yeah. Arizona currently up 27-10 with 3 minutes left. How about these Arizona Wildcats that Noah Fafita? Let's fucking go. That's my team, man. I mean, look, I'm a Colorado fan, but no one less. Let's go. Wildcats. Patty C.
What a heater.
If they had just gotten that 2-point conversion against USC, they have 2 losses. One of them is to Washington, but they're fucking red hot. Had they just beat USC on that 2-point conversion, remember they lost in overtime?
Were they were down 1 and they went for 2?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Think about this. They're red hot. They just beat Washington State, Oregon State, and UCLA. Their remaining schedule at Colorado. They're home to Utah and at Arizona State. They might be in the Pac-12 championship, dude.
I mean, they don't play Oregon, so that could be an issue.
Well, Oregon needs a second loss, which probably isn't going to happen. But
they lost to Mississippi State
in overtime.
Yeah,
That was when they had Delora though.
It's a long
Fafita
trip.
is better than Delora.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
they're playing good football. I mean, they've been in a lot of dogfights. A 1-point game, a 7-point game, a triple overtime game, and a 3-point game are 4 out of the last 5 games. And then they throttled Washington State in the other one. Yeah. I mean, if they have some dog and wait, did they beat UCLA tonight?
Yeah, they're up 17 with 3 minutes left.
Woo. All right. Let's go Wildcats.
South Dakota State beat the piss out of North Dakota State, Patty C.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
It really is. I mean, the Dakota marker.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
The Dakota marker resides in the winner, Brookings, South Dakota. They've been kicking the North Dakota State's ass lately.
Yep, they have. Look, North Dakota State has their 9 national championships. Some of them probably deserve an asterisk. I'm not going to give it North Dakota State a legit dynasty, super dynasty in the FCS, but it is great to see South Dakota State finally coming up and taking their spot.
Yeah,
that's a rivalry that could say South Dakota State. They're the favorites. I would guess to win the national championship.
Yeah.
If they start their own little dynasty, that could be one of the greatest rivalries. That could be Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah.
That could be Oklahoma, Texas.
Let's go
of the FCS.
Patty C, it's time for us to do game balls and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
By the way, in case you were wondering, also, I will brag that during the weekday slate of games, your boy Dundee was on a heat. I've been on a heater for like fucking 10 days, dude. Anyway, subscribe to the College Football Experience. Who's your first game ball?
Our
Patty
game
C?
balls are for the teams,
or you could throw out a player. No, the teams. Let's just stick to teams.
Let me peek at the schedule for one more second. And do you have one lined up?
The biggest win of the day is Bedlam, Oklahoma State, getting to say fuck you to Oklahoma.
That's a great call,
which I highly endorse. Yeah, they're awesome. And remember, the college basketball show comes out tomorrow. I'm talking with Mac on the schedule on that, Ryan. So I would assume around 9 Pacific, maybe 8 Pacific, somewhere in that range. Patty C?
I'm gonna give it to Oregon.
Just
throttling Cal. 63-19.
You know my second game ball?
What's that?
Kansas Jayhawks avoided that letdown spot, and all of a sudden you're 7-2. You may be playing for the Big 12 fucking championship. I cannot wait to watch the rest of this month with Kansas. And what's crazy, I was reading something that they might be able to redshirt Jalen Daniels. He might have 2 years left. He hasn't played in that many games.
That's true. You might as well. Do you have a massive quarterback controversy going into next year, though?
I think Bean's a senior, actually.
Oh, really?
So he's gone.
He's gone. Is he going to get a pro look? He should. He should get a pro look. If not at quarterback, at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Does he run like a 4.4?
Wide receiver.
He's like a track star. I didn't even realize that about him. I'm going to give my other one. I'm tempted to give it to Louisville, but I'm not going to. You know who I'm going to give it to?
Saban.
No.
Oh.
I'm going to give it to Dabo Swinney and Clemson.
Oh.
You know, because a loss here would have put a lot of fucking heat on Dabo. Instead, he responded phenomenally, really controlled the hell out of that game. And look, you beat Notre Dame. You probably should have beaten Florida State.
Definitely should have beat Florida State.
Yeah, you've had a couple tough games.
So they're 5-4. Remaining schedule: home to Georgia Tech, home to North Carolina, at South Carolina. They can still go 8-4 here.
It's a tough end of the season. I bet they'd lose one of those at least. But look, it's a tough year. But look, they kept fighting. So congrats
buy stock,
to Dabo.
He said. Buy stock. Patty C's buying stock.
I am buying stock. I don't think that you necessarily need to completely buy in on the transfer portal being an absolute necessity, but it is a harder road to hoe. So if you're gonna be a straight in-house culture guy, you better be building the shit out of that culture. And so maybe he is, and maybe this is just a down year in that process. But either way, a nice win.
I like it. That's your section. You got to get one more game ball, and I'm gonna give my game ball. I'm gonna quickly pull up some nuggets here because I just want to tell you what you should be doing. I hate to essentially try to do your job, Coach Monken, but when I look and I see, let's start with week 1 where they lost to ULM, Patty C.
Yeah.
They threw for 121 yards, and I don't even know if that's just one player. Let me see if they had multiple. Yeah, they threw for they threw 12 passes. It's way too many, right? That was game 1, right? When you're Army, that's a dumb idea in my opinion, right?
12.
Game 2, they beat FCS Delaware State. And they made the mistake of throwing for 15 passes.
Just
right?
airing it out.
Very stupid, in my opinion. Then they took on the UTSA Roadrunners. Actually scored the upset, right?
Yeah.
And get this, they actually threw for 18 passes.
Maybe there's something to it. Maybe they needed to be throwing the ball.
No. The Frank Harris was injured. That's what happened.
Uh-huh.
Then they lost to Syracuse, and guess what? During that Syracuse game, Patty C, they tried to throw the ball a disgusting 21 times. All right.
Yeah. That is a little disgusting.
Hold on. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. But so after that, they took on Boston College and lost at the goal line. They almost beat Boston College. Right. But if you look at this, they threw the ball 13 times. So you threw it less. You almost beat potential ACC champion Boston College. Then they played Troy, got shut out by Troy. Right. You know, they're getting too cute. They threw the ball 18 times that game. Right. That's just ridiculous to me. Right.
Yeah.
Then they played the LSU Tigers, lost 62-0 to Brian Kelly and his family. Right.
Yeah.
This is another one. Once again, 15 passes. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Right?
The funniest part about that is if you're down 63, normally that puts you in a passing position. Like, no, we're just going to keep running off tackle.
Well, then last week they threw the ball the most they ever have, 21, and they lost to UMass. And I think Jeff Monken then went home and he said, you know what? I'm done with this bullshit. This cha trying to throw the ball around.
He finally watched Air Force and Troy Calhoun telling the powers that be, you know, the whatever, you got to call it, make them call it.
So that is why I want to reward them a game ball, because they only threw the ball 9 times, the season lowest amount,
and
9
best
fucking
game of
times.
the season.
And guess what? 18.5 point dogs. You win on the money line. Your quarterback, who threw the ball 9 times,
you only win on the money line. You dominate. What was the final?
23-3. The under cashes. Dundee hits on the under. He hits on the money line. He hits on the plus 18.5. And how about this? Bryson Daly, no relation to Carson, despite Patty C's, his desire to want that to be true. He was 4 of 9 passing, just 4 yards of completion, right? Guess what he did running the ball? 36 rushes, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dog, what are you doing?
Rushes.
What are you doing? They had 51 rushes all game.
That is a.
Thank you, Jeff Monken. Football is back. Stop getting cute.
36 rushes. That is a bell cow quarterback right there. It's fucking amazing. Only at the service academies.
Let's go.
The last time a Power 5 team did it. 3 national championships in 4 years. Hi, Nebraska. Maybe you consider going back to it.
Patty C, who is your final game ball?
Oh boy. Kind of caught me flat-footed, even though I was just getting hyped up on the Army.
UNLV.
You kind of have to. Probably should. I'm gonna throw in a special shout out to JMU for remaining undefeated. Kind of got to include Liberty in that as well. I don't know who had a special week. Who did something? Louisville. Yeah.
UNLV.
They were gonna be my other one.
Okay.
Louisville doesn't let down. They keep the foot on the gas. 34-3 against Virginia Tech. Maybe they cracked the top 10. The only problem is there wasn't a lot of losses in front of them, but still, they're having a phenomenal season. I finally have to tip my hat to the Louisville Cardinals.
There we go. Patty C, before we get out of here, next week there's some heat. There's some heat on the schedule starting on.
What do we got?
Well, Louisville plays on Thursday against your Wahoos, but on Friday,
not what I would call heat.
On Friday, you have a game that could be a preview of the Mountain West Championship. Wyoming, UNLV.
That won't. Neither one of those teams are making the Mountain West
at the Death Star. What do you mean?
UNLV.
They easily could.
Fresno's probably
Wyoming beat Fresno. Fresno loses one more game. Wyoming's got the tiebreaker.
Okay.
On Saturday next week, Michigan, Penn State. Are you ready for that one?
Yes. Awesome.
How about Holy Cross Army?
Sure.
I am ready for
Northeast football is
Let's
back.
go. Auburn or Alabama at Kentucky. The Bear Bryant Bowl. Really? Disrespecting Kroger Field. NC State, Wake Forest. The ACC's back.
Why are you reading these games?
UConn, JMU. You excited?
No.
You should be excited.
I mean,
Trying
yes,
to undefeated
it's
season.
a JMU game. I'm excited, but
Arizona, Colorado, and Boulder. You excited?
knock on wood. I gotta respect UConn. I don't want to lose on that jinx I just gave. But no, JMU, we respect UConn. Anyway,
Arizona at Colorado. You excited?
that's a little bit fun.
How about Utah at Washington? You excited?
Yes, of course.
Rutgers at Iowa. You excited?
It's kind of fun. Yes.
Pitt, Syracuse at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx to honor the history of college football.
I'll look at it just to see them playing football in Yankee Stadium. That's about it.
Oklahoma State at UCF. You excited?
No, not really. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
West Virginia at Oklahoma. You excited?
Smidge.
Duke, Carolina.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I am. Iowa State at BYU.
Apparently, Troy Tuning really hyped us on that one before because aren't the Mormons really upset with Iowa State for keeping them out of the Big 12 for a long time?
Yeah. How about USC at Oregon? You excited for that one?
USC at Oregon. Yeah, Caleb Williams. He's a fun ticket to watch.
Miami at Florida State. You excited?
Yes.
Tennessee at Missouri. You excited?
Yeah.
Florida at LSU. Those games are always kind of fun. I'll be honest, even though they both seem down.
Yeah.
Texas at TCU.
Yep.
Ole Miss at Georgia.
Yeah.
Fresno at San Jose State. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We're gonna I can't wait for this week. Remember college basketball. The college basketball.
Wait, did you
experience.
say Michigan, Penn State?
Yeah, it was early on.
Okay.
College basketball experience starts tomorrow, folks. You know what that means for old Dundee? That means I'm doing a show every fucking day. College basketball games. Me, Moneyline Mac, Patty C, NC Nick, Noah Beanick. College basketball games. Terrell Furman on Saturdays.
150 picks. We got to be making every night now.
It starts.
The grind begins.
It starts. Take Tarleton State in the points against UVA Monday. Let's go. Folks, give Patty C a follow on Twitter. Patty C831. I'm on Twitter at @DColbyD. The college basketball experience is on. I'm sorry. The college football and college basketball experience are on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Give us a follow on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Also, please get on over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review. Don't be like that asshole. You can call me a piece of shit. Just give us the 5 stars. That's all I ask.
You ask to be called a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Call me a piece of shit. Just give me the 5 stars. Yeah. That guy who called us dumbasses loved that title. However, he only gave us 1 star. He didn't listen to us.
Son of a gun.
Right? Anyway, shout out to him. Shout out to everybody giving us, tuning in, check us out. Remember, we also host the FCS College Football Experience, the college basketball experience, the college baseball experience, the college football experience. We just got you covered. All right. Subscribe. The Big 12 experience with Moneyline Mac as well. Check it all out. The sports season November's the best. Let's be honest. All right. Buckle up. And check out the Sports Gambling Podcast live from Las Vegas every Friday on VSiN. And I'll be on their show. Also, college basketball show's out. You can go check out that right now for Monday's college basketball games, just to give you a little preview. 5 stars for the Sean Connery talks like this. A lot of people say I do a terrible Sean Connery. Anyway, Dumbass University is in the works. I am
gear on the way.
Yes, gear on the way. And I'm glad to be the chairman of Dumbass University. So, folks, until next time, this is the College Football Experience Week 10 reaction show. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.